Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Lisa Tucker, and I'm happy to help you today as we discuss the exciting relaunch of Esl Reading Smart. As I share my screen, I want you to know that these changes, while we couldn't help the timing and all of that, these changes are very, very exciting. They're exciting for you, and they're really exciting for our students. The students that we serve will benefit greatly from these changes. The important thing to know is that now we are logging in through Admentum Exact Path. ESL Reading Smart is not a name that you'll see a lot throughout the new platform. Okay? In our overview today, we'll discuss some very important first steps as we're all getting used to the new place, the new house for all of our materials. We're going to discuss the teacher login credential process that has changed, students logging in through ClassLink, as well as changes to the teacher dashboard. You are going to love your new dashboard. We'll look at how to adjust your student levels, and there will be a need for that as you understand how Admentum worked over the winter break to help us get to this point today. We'll look at reporting, and a very exciting feature is the optional resource we have through some exact path access. Lastly, we will discuss some very specific ways you can get more help. I understand this brief launch training will not be all that you need. Once you get into the program, you're going to have questions. That is normal. That's to be expected. So we'll talk about where to get extra help beyond today. First and most importantly, your teacher account has changed. It had to, and there are a variety of reasons for what I'm about to explain. So you received an email from Brandon McSween saying that you have a new icon in your ClassLink portfolio. It looks like the picture that you see below, and it might look familiar to you, but you see the blue key at the top. This is called a password locker, and that means the first time you log in, you're going to have to use a brand new username and password that I have created for you. I have provided all of this information to you individually through an email. All right, if you've lost that email, or let's just say you read it, you logged in and you changed everything, which you have certainly permission to do, and now you've forgotten what it is, email me. Do not email the help desk. Do not call Teleforce. Do not call anybody at MIS. You need to email me because we have expedited your access, and I just don't want you to get the runaround asking 4 or 5 different people, never getting the answer you need. All right? So I can reset things for you if you've lost them or misplaced them. I can't tell you what you changed, right? But I can certainly, if you go in with the credentials I provide, I can help you reset that very quickly and very easily. So your first time to log in, you'll use this icon in ClassLink, and you'll be required the first time to log in with a username and password. ClassLink will save it for you after that. Please raise your hand if you've ever had trouble with ClassLink. Okay, we hear about it all the time, and it's to be expected with any platform. Nothing works perfectly all the time. If you've ever had a glitch with ClassLink and you need to get something quick, sometimes we're waiting forever. So I want you to have the ability to log in outside of ClassLink. That's what this page is for. When you have difficulties with ClassLink, and we're talking about you, the teacher, you may go in through your Google Chrome browser and simply go to this link. This takes you to the sign-in page that you see to the right of the screen. You'll have to put in the account name, which is OKLCSD. When you do that, use the username and password credentials that I've provided for you, and then log into Admentum. That will take you right in there, and you can avoid any kind of class link hurdle. Your student accounts, thankfully, will not change. Your students will have the same icon they had before winter break. They will log in the exact same way. It's automatically going to take them to the new platform. MIS and Edmentum worked during the break to import our students who already had usage. So again, this happened during the winter break and it didn't happen perfectly. Edmentum has reported, especially with one particular school, and Choctaw, I'm going to go ahead and mention to you, they have noted that some of your students are missing. Some students had not been coded correctly in either AS400 or PAWS, or for whatever reason were not captured on the MIS roster the right way, so they don't appear. When you look at your rosters, and this is for anybody, when you look at your rosters and see missing students, or maybe you have a new enrollee or a transfer to your school or your class period, any kind of change like that, make a list and email me. Just please make sure you spell the student name right. If you can give me the student ID number, that's even better. That way we're making sure we're not creating duplicate accounts. Please do not request students to be added through MIS. We have to respect that this relaunch has intersected a time where we have a lot of workflow issues with MIS working with Gradebook, Edgenuity, Accelerate, all the things that are already underway with the semester closing. So please email me. I can expedite your request, and Edmentum has agreed to help me when I'm not available, all right? So keep in mind to review your roster carefully. Your dashboard you are going to love. Guess what? It's 21st century. It's going to be easy to navigate from place to place and very easy to make adjustments and changes as you need to. First, it's important to note that the course names have changed. Instead of ESL Reading Smart Newcomer or ESL Reading Smart Activities, now we have the new names, L Foundations Newcomer, L Foundations Level 1. Nobody in this program needs or qualifies for Level 2 at this present day, all right? This resource is for those students who are at Tier A or very low Tier B regarding WIDA standards. So your course names have changed. You may have had students before December 20th who were only working in the newcomer platform. That's great. The Edmentum staff worked on our district's behalf to place those students at a similar spot to where they left off as of December 20th, okay? If your student was in a level 1 activity, they did their best to place them at a level that was similar to where they stopped. There could be a little overlap, that's to be expected. So if a student comes to you and they say, I've already completed this informational text, I remember everything about it, I shouldn't have to redo this activity. It is very easy for you to make that adjustment. We're going to talk specifically about how to do that, but just remember that's to be expected. Edmentum also advised us to remember this is going to be a new landscape for the students. So one advantage of them repeating maybe the last activity that they did before Christmas is to get used to the new platform. It's not going to hurt their report data or anything like that. We saved everything from the old program in a secure spot. So I have those reports, usage and progress stored for your school. They're not embedded. They have not migrated into the new program. So we're starting fresh, but you'll still be able to do a comparison. If you do need to make adjustments though, you're going to see how easy it is with your new dashboard. When you log in, yours may look a little different from mine since I have all school access. So instead of program snapshot, you might see the word school or class snapshot. You'll also see an easy spot to manage your class or courses if you have more than one, and then a very easy spot at the top to manage your students. No more hunting and searching and going through some very old-fashioned menus to get to what we need. When you need to make those adjustments, you're simply going to select your Manage Students section from your dashboard. Select the student, as you see that I've done here. I've selected this particular student, and then it will populate the course or courses that he's enrolled in the platform. This student is enrolled in L Foundation's Newcomer, right? I can see that this is a prior middle school student in Ginger Clark's 6th period class. So I can click this course name, and that's going to give me a very intuitive menu. It opens up all of the activities in that course. And let's say I don't want to adjust everything. I just want to enable this particular student not to have to repeat the classroom activity, where they're learning classroom sight words and different things to help them navigate an English classroom. So very simply, I can click in this button, the activity, and then I can choose to either lock the activity so the student cannot go back and change anything. I can choose to hide the activity from that student's menu. I can exempt the student. He'll still see the activity, but he'll see that he's not required to complete it. When I click Edit, you'll see that I can move some things, some levels up and down, some things within that activity. I can also reset. So if the student has attempted it or even completed it, I can reset the activity, which clears off any previous data so that I can get a better idea of what that student can actually do. This is helpful when we see students just clicking through and rushing, or when we are afraid a student received too much help and we don't have a clear picture of what he or she can do independently. Many teachers choose to use the reset when they're working with a small group of 2 or 3 students and utilizing direct instruction. They want to reset the activity and use some guided steps and some personalized interventions and help to help students navigate either the new platform or the informational text that they're reading through. Please note you also have the option to omit the activity. This will not just hide it, but it will delete it from your list. And then you can view the history. When you use that icon, you are able to see all the changes that have been made for that particular activity or lesson for a student or an entire class. Now, again, we chose to select this for an individual student. You can also choose to make these changes for an entire class. Okay? As we think about reporting, we all know that we are accountable for things that we are expending federal funds for. In your reporting, you'll want to at least every month check your usage and progress data. While I'll be providing you some reports quarterly, it's important for you to know where you have access to provide both you and your school administration and your parents and students some updated progress. So from your Manage Courses or your Classes tab, you'll simply use the chart icon. You'll notice here that when I click that, it shows Quick Reports. This will enable you to choose the type of quick report you would like to download and print. Let's say you have the need for either an MTSS meeting, a parent conference, or an L committee to have an individual report just at a moment's notice. Very easy to do with this program. You simply go to your student roster, click on the student's name, and then you'll see the report that you can select. This will give you both progress and usage data. I will be providing quarterly progress reports and usage reports to both principals and teachers who are using this program, so please keep that in mind. At the end of this next 9 weeks, okay, after we begin our third 9 weeks, at the end of that quarter, I will definitely be reaching out to teachers who have had very minimal or no usage at all, because we don't want to continue expending funds or licenses where we could reallocate those to places who are in need. Now the confetti is flying. Did you see that? Yes, this is so exciting. Because of the relaunch and the inconvenience of Edmentum having to do this at a time that's not ideal for you or your students, they have opened for this last semester for our district. They have opened our access for teachers to have exact path resources. Now I'm going to be very detailed in how I tell you about this, because I don't want you to go overboard here. Some of you are very familiar with exact path. You have attended demos or you were part of a soft pilot previously. Exact path is a great affordable resource, but we're not paying anything for it right now. If you were enrolled in ESL Reading Smart before December, then you as a teacher have access to these optional resources. Now notice, I say optional, optional, optional. There is no have to. If you never touch this, nobody's going to ask you why, okay? You have too much on your plate, and we all recognize this is the most challenging time in education as we know it, okay? So if you want, you can explore the resources during our second semester and let me know by the end of the school year if this is something you'd like to keep. If you see value in it for ELA or reading, then please let me know. Some of you, and I won't name schools because we all have different site-based management at our schools, and some of you are working with multiple subjects, but math is also included in these resources. Please remember, we're not allowed to share, to download, share, or whatever, any of these exact path resources with other teachers. We're not allowed to post anything, and certainly can't share. The account is under your name, and you have access to these for English learners. Among our English learners throughout the district, we have a significant number who have had severe limitations or interruptions in their formal educational history. When that happens, it's great to have additional adaptive resources to help fill those gaps, and that's what this does. If you're a middle school teacher, you are extremely familiar at this point with iReady, because we have iReady, an adaptive resource for K through 8 this year. We're excited about the features that are embedded that assist our English learners with that. Exact Path is similar and yet offers some unique supports with reading, math, and ELA. And I want our high school teachers to be aware that you might find resources within this program that would maybe lead you to request further access next year, either intensive reading or one of your ELA classes, or even a math class. You might find value in supporting those students who've had significant interruptions in their educational history. How to access Exact Path is extremely simple. You'll simply see the words Exact Path in your menu at the top of your page, right? When you click there, you're going to click My Classes with a reminder you don't have any classes in Exact Path. You, the teacher, have access to the resources, but you don't have any students in ExactPath as of right now. When you choose My Classes, this opens your menu, and you want to look to the right-hand side of your page where it says Search for Resources. This is your starting place if you're looking at this optional portion of what we have in our new platform, and you want to see if there's value for what it is you're teaching and for the students you serve. Simply select Search Resources. You can enter the search criteria, and notice you don't have to fill in all of this. I chose to put in reading for 7th grade and informational text. I couldn't decide on a skill level at the moment, so I simply left that blank and I hit go. When I did that, it gave me pages and pages of options for a student who's in the 7th grade. You know, something that might have images and content appropriate for a person at that level who has some educational challenges, right? So you'll notice this one resource, the first one on the list, is listed as a K5 for content style. When you look through your list, you can find something that says 612 content style. That means the images and the text that would be appropriate for that level. That will lead you to the categories of lessons, practices, and mastery quizzes that you can preview. And again, when you find something you like, then that's when you might decide, I'd like to add students. The important note is that students do not have automatic access. They're not going to see anything about ExactPath. They will not have a path unless you decide it's needed. If you, for this optional resource, want to create a group or a class, then just let me know. Reach out and let me know. And Edmentum has agreed to help us with that. So let's say Ginger Clark decides her entire 6th period she'd like to have opened an ExactPath reading and or language arts pathway so that they can work in that program as well. Just simply let me know, and we'll make sure all those students are rostered, and there won't be an additional icon. It will just appear in their student dashboard once they're logged in. Okay, very intuitive, and it gives you grade level ability so that you can work in a teacher-directed manner, or it gives adapted leveling for the student's actual level of academic skill in a particular area. Now, for this launch, you need more than 15 minutes of help. Once you get in the program, you're going to have a lot more questions, or you're going to need something demonstrated, or lots of other school-specific questions you might have. So we're going to host a live Q&A through Zoom on Thursday, January 14th. It's from 3 to 4. Drop in as needed. You don't have to stay the whole hour, and you don't have to come at all. That time is not convenient for everybody, and we're aware of that. But Edmentum and I will be on the Zoom, and I'll email you all the link. Again, it's optional, but that's one option for live virtual Q&A support. There's more. Okay, not everybody can attend on the 14th, and not everybody's going to benefit from the types of questions that are asked and answered there. So anytime, let's say you are into February and you run into an issue trying to adjust levels, or you're trying to explore how you can do a whole group lesson and you just need a little bit of extra coaching, then please reach out to any of the 3 names you see on the screen. You have those email addresses, and we have permission from our Edmentum educational partners to email Karen Davis and Crystal Morgan anytime. They are both experts in their field. They're very, very compassionate, and they understand the demands of the teacher. So I'm able to help you. Crystal Karen, all of us are able to help you, and we'll either set up a time for a phone conference or a virtual session if we can't answer your question in an email, okay? So we want to make this work for you, okay? Please let us know how we can assist. I want to thank you very much for your attention and attendance today. And again, I look forward to exploring this new platform and all the benefits it holds for both you and our wonderful students in Okaloosa County. Thank you. Have a great day.